there, it's Vyrrg again. I decided to make another video with commentary against Katashi. You might have seen a couple videos with Katashi versus Ruby Inferno, or Katashi against Joe on his Blade Master and his Barb. Katashi's been a favorite of mine to 1v1, as there are a lot of different aspects, a lot of different combos that are very obvious, but are kind of hard to work around. You saw with Joe that you can get around it with Nullify Poison. I outgear Katashi by quite a bit, so it was decided that I would not use Nullify Poison. I would just have to use other ways to avoid her combos. So over the course of this video, I'm kind of going to introduce you to a lot of the Veno combos. Katashi is interesting in the fact that she uses her Genie for stuns. She uses her Genie for Cold Ice, which can be very detrimental to a lot of people hoping to survive. She's got one combo that can really reduce a lot of my defenses, and the most important thing for me to be able to survive it, because she can hit me upwards of 20k a hit when she gets all these debuffs on me. One of the most important things is for me to take out her pet. A Veno's pet allows the Veno to hit harder while it's out. I think it's 25% or something like that. So if you've got AoEs when you're fighting a Veno, make sure to spam them. I've also got two very important skills on my Genie today that are going to save me, and that's Fortify for anti-stun, as well as Will Surge for anti-seal. Her main combo is an immobilize and a seal, so that anti-seal helps because it's a very long channel, and the Fortify helps against all the other stuns. So Venos can purge, like you saw right there. I've got to get my self buff on, and I've got to have my self buff, because if I don't have that, she can hit me much harder. So if she goes for the purge, I'll usually go for a Fortify, because I know her pet's gonna stun me or she's gonna stun me, and it'll allow me to get my self buff back on. It took me, I mean, we fought a few times before, but it took me a little bit of a little while to kind of understand really how to time Will Surge and how to use Fortify. Katashi is another one of those players that has some very good mind games, in the sense that her main combo, which can give you that DG debuff, it can immobilize and see you at the same time, it's got a very long channeling time. And so she'll use it to try and bait a Will Surge or something in order to avoid it. I used a pot right there to avoid it, because I wasn't sure if she was going to use it or not, and I wanted some time to be able to DD on her alone. But what Katashi likes to do is purge me and then use that main combo. And she knows that if she can purge me and I don't have my self buff, and she can stun lock me like this, then if she can get me in the combo, I'll die. Because of the gear gap, it's very hard for her to kill me, and I can tank a lot of it if I've got my self buff, which I understand is a big advantage to me. But you see right there, she got me in the combo. She was able to deal quite a lot of damage to me. I was trying to focus on killing her pet at this point. She's got, I believe, two of the same pet, so that she can get them back very quickly. But Katashi focuses a lot, if I've killed her pet, on just locking me in order to, or making me into a little squirrel, in order to resurrect her pet. She needs that pet alive to deal more damage and to help with her controlling ability. The new pets, they've got dead nerves, and so you can't just one-shot it unless the pet has just spawned. If she hasn't healed it yet, you can one-shot the pet, which is why I'm trying to get close to her a lot throughout this fight, so I can just AoE as soon as she spawns that pet. I'm also using Will Surge every time she's using that combo to try and kill me. I started to learn throughout this fight that she will only use the combo if I have my self buff off, like just now. I was getting very close to death there because she knew I was going to get my self buff back, so she purged me again with her ulti. That was very dangerous. But I started to realize that she'll only charge it up if I've got my self buff purged. So if I do have my self buff, and she started channeling that skill, I stopped using Will Surge because I knew she was going to try to go for the bait. Katashi is a lot different from Ruby Inferno in that I can kill her with my Edge Blur combo. So I try to do that a lot so I wouldn't proc her Purify too much while trying to combo on her. She got me right there. That was our first fight. She was able to make me waste a lot of my saves and then get me with her main combo. If you saw the amount of damage she can put out, it's really quite amazing. Right here, she started very quickly, got me with a self-buff purge. She hadn't burned my genie yet. I was saving that AD for that, but now I needed to self-buff myself. For some reason, I didn't realize that I was not self-buffed. So she had a really great advantage there if she hadn't stacked her stuns on top of each other. Like my damage should have been much higher right there, but I was still able to get the kill with the Edge Blur combo. As long as I can get her with an Ion Spike and a Fortify and an Occult Ice, she'll normally die because she likes to use Expel to avoid my combo. Just like Ruby, if I get them with the seal right here, a lot of times they'll Expel just like that, and I won't be able to hit them really, really hard with Gemini Slash or something, so I've got to Edge Blur to try to kill them. She's really, really good at chaining her stuns. The pet stun goes into human form, and I started being able to predict that. So after the pet stun, I'd usually hit Fortify immediately, knowing she'd go to human form. And if I can catch her in human form, I can hit her very, very hard with my own physical skills. I should probably have tried more for physical skills than the Edge Blur combo right there, but I was also trying to kill her pet at the same time. The great thing about Edge Blur is that it can go through any sort of bless buff, like the one she has right now. It'll deal full damage to her, even if she's got that damage reduction buff on her. I have my ulti gives me an anti-stun, which is very useful against Katashi since most of the things that she can do are stun. She's got a 2-second paralyze, which she starts to channel later in the game, later in these fights, which is really dangerous. But if she can get me with those stuns, then I'm screwed. So an anti-stun of any sort or Fortify is going to be really, really helpful in these fights. She went with the combo there, but I still had my self-buff, and now you can kind of see that I can mostly tank that damage if I'm self-buff, which is what I started to learn at this point. I'm still just trying to kill her pet, making sure she's dealing less damage. Was able to get my self-buff on right after the Purify, or the Purge. Still just trying to get that perfect combination of me purged and my genie on cooldown. I had my self-buff on right there, so I didn't worry about going for the Will Surge because I knew she was just trying to bait it. At this point, I'm still just trying to waste her genie and her potions so that I can go for a full combo on her. It takes a lot. I'm glad that I have some spammable combos so that I can do it multiple times in the time that an apothecary would have a cooldown, because the global apothecary cooldown, of course, is 2 minutes. And so I can usually do my full // combo 4 times in that time. Then if I waste your genie, normally I get an open on the 3rd or 4th combo. Here I tried using my pet. I've been trying to use this more and more because the pet's a free stun a couple of times, but Katashi knows that, so she tried to kill my pet immediately, just like I'm trying to kill her pet. A little bit of payback right there. As you can see, she tries to stun me a lot just to get her pet alive, and then she's got the combo. I've got my self-buff, so I'm not too worried about not being able to tank it. Definitely hitting Last Stand, which will purify me if she is able to continue to lock me. She's just trying to keep me locked here so she can get her pet back. But without her pet, she's not dealing as much damage. She could probably have one-shot me there. And that's another example of wanting to be very careful about what sort of debuffs you put on a Seeker, because I can throw them right back on. So she had to waste an Apothecary or her Genie to really get past the fact that I had thrown her Armor Break back onto her. Got myself buff. I know I'm going to be fine. So I don't really have to waste anything at that point. using Edge Blur to get through her blessing debuff. Now she's got a pretty long charm cooldown, but I'm not being able to deal a lot of damage because the CC ability that she has is pretty tremendous. She's very good at keeping me locked and keeping that pet alive. My favorite part about being able to put pressure on the pet is that while I put pressure on the pet, she's got to keep healing it, and she can't CC me as much, which helps me put a little bit more offense onto her. My charm's getting very close to the end, and so at this point I know that, and I think I have another charm, I'm not sure, but I'm mostly trying to focus on killing her as soon as I can. I know I've got an opening with her Apothecary and her Genie, especially if after that Occult Ice I've got an opening if I can survive this combo from her. And a lot of people, while they're doing their main killing combo, they're not focusing on a lot of other things. They're not focusing on what they have to save themselves, and so that leaves them with a good opening. Usually I know that if I'm pretty close to death, I have a chance to kill the other person because they'll be wasting other things. I really like that / Edge Blur, especially because it won't tick a caster's Purify. A lot of my physical combos, when I use it on them, she gets purified right out of it, and I can't really deal a lot of damage in the time that I have. But you can see right there, 11k with a magic skill. That's just massive damage on a caster. And so she knows I can threaten her from a lot of different angles. That was funny, we both occultized each other at the same time. She's got me here. I'm completely debuffed. I have some chi, so I've got to spark out of it as soon as I can, just buying some time. Now that I've got that blessed debuff, I can self-buff myself. I don't know why I didn't. Sack slashing without your self-buff, you're losing a lot of offensive power. But it can also, you know that you're not going for the kill. They don't. They see a sack slash, they waste some stuff. Still haven't self-buffed myself yet. Good thing is she purged me twice. If she had saved that purge, she could have used it after my self-buff, and I would have been without a self-buff even to rebuff for 15 seconds, so she could have comboed me there. But she'd already used her main skill, so that was on cooldown. Edge Blur, Occult Ice. It's really hard to defend against. Edge Blur also deals a lot of damage to her pet, so even if I'm not comboing her, I know that if she's locked or stunned and I'm Edge Blurring, her pet's gonna die. So I'm not always going for the kill. Mostly I'm just trying to keep that pet dead so I don't die. Using the Will Surge there to avoid her seal, and knew it because I was self-buffed that she would go for it. Killing that pet. I love Dark Cloud Bolt and its ability to cancel her skills. Sometimes it'll cancel a heal, and I can get the first hit on her pet. Venos have a lot of save skills, such as the one she's using right now with that bless. I love being able to cut through it with Edge Blur, so that's one of my favorite aspects of Edge Blur. Almost had her there with a physical skill spam, but she had another save skill, of course, which was her current mana levels and her health levels, since that was able to save her just at the last second. I'm not sure why I keep leaving myself unbuffed. I guess I just haven't noticed my purge. Purify proc makes it so that my physical skills are really hard to kill her with, because it's basically just luck if I can get her in that lock. And then if I forced her Genie and I forced her potions and she gets a lucky Purify proc, then I've got to wait a whole nother rotation to be able to kill her with physical skills. Edge Blur is a great boon because of that. Occult Ice failing, would have dealt some good damage, but then she got Purify as well. Immediately killed her pet again. She's wasted a couple of her saves. I know I'm starting to get an opening here because I've killed her pet. She's gonna have to waste some stuff to get her pet back alive. Killed it immediately again, and she's wasted her genie. I had sack slash, so I had to purify it with a triple spark, or else I was pretty much dead because I couldn't keep EQ it onto her. That anti-seal saved me right there. She goes with another stun, but because she had to waste that, she wasn't able to do max damage, which saved me a little bit. I started to learn if I could will switch at the right time and avoid that seal, the combo wouldn't kill me because my magic charms would be refreshing. So if I've got myself buff, she won't do it. She did bait my will switch properly there, so I knew I had to lock her until my will switch came back up. So I had to go offensive, try to get her to run away, because my will switch was gone. And then here we go. We see the immense damage that Edgeblur can deal through those combos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit shorter. Our fights went pretty quickly, but yeah, it was definitely a pleasure to fight Katashi. I can't wait to see what she can do once her gear gets to the level of mine. Thank you guys. Have a great day.